Hey, it's Janae here to brighten, enlighten, and ignite your day. It's Transformation Tuesday, and I'm here with another edition of The Gist, helping you to get inspired and start your transformation. Today's resource is called The Push, Unleashing the Power of Encouragement. Now, this is a book written by David McNally and Mac Anderson and published by Simple Truths. And I love this book for a variety of reasons, not just because I actually have a story published in here. So that was really special for me. This is called Finding Your Life's Purpose by Janae Bauer. I was able to submit a story on the power of encouragement. Specifically, did one person's words of encouragement make a difference in your life? And I wrote about how my father's has really guided my life and that story. But the inspiration and transformation that I want to talk to you about is a little bit different in here. So the first is the inspiration, is this actual idea of the push. So what does it mean? And David McNally, the whole book is centered around this idea of the eagle. And that in order for the young eaglets to make their first, flight, to take wings, is that they need that push. And that push is so important. So for example, let me share with you this picture because I thought it was so brilliant in how it explained this inspiration, the push. Sometimes we need it, and sometimes we need to give it. It can be the greatest gift you ever give, and it will change a life forever. And I think this idea of, there's the people in your lives that will push you and the people that you will push. And I know being a mother, there's such a fine balance of being able to push our boys to get to that next level because we see that potential, and sometimes we need to be the one gently nudging them on. Sometimes we need to push them into it, and other times we don't. And I need the same for my own life as well. So that push makes a difference. Then the transformation is a picture of this beautiful flower, and if you don't recognize what it is a daffodil, and it comes from one of the stories that was really memorable for me in this book. So what it is, it's a collection of a variety of short stories. So in an hour or so, you can just read some powerful examples around encouragement. And it's a great book around for Father's Day, any of the graduation, those kinds of things. Teachers, I've used it for. It's a great way to connect that way. But anyways, they have this story called The Daffodil Principle. So cool. And what it's about is the author of the story, who's actually unknown, talks about that he saw in the vast hues just this beautiful 5 acres of flowers. And he goes, "Who had done this?" I asked my daughter. "Just one woman," Carlene answered. "She lives on the property. That's her home." So when they came, the answer, they had a sign here that was brilliant, and it said, "Answers to the questions I know you're asking. 5,000 bulbs, one at a time by one woman, 2 hands, 2 feet, and 1 very little brain. It began in 1958. So the author goes on to say, there it was, the daffodil principle. For me, that was a moment that was a life-changing experience. I thought of this woman who I'd never met, who for more than 40 years had begun one bulb at a time to bring her vision of beauty and joy to this beautiful mountaintop. And year after year, it changed and grew more glorious." And I just had such a great example for us about encouragement and things that we do. It's just the one bulb at a time. Pretty soon, over a period of time, years, can really make a huge difference and create something beautiful that others can see. But a lot of times when we plant bulbs, we don't see the results for a while. And that's the idea of the push, is to encourage, if you're working on a goal, our boys, for sports, for example, it's going to take years till you start to see the fruits of your labor in a sport. And that's important to remember, is that the power of encouragement, the power of doing one thing at a time, getting the push when we need it and pushing others can make a huge difference. So from my heart to yours, be love.